What's going on, guys? Messi here and welcome to a brand new video and welcome to your daily dose of transfer content. And today is going to be the start of a brand new month. It is officially the 1st of July and today we're talking about free agents. It's players that have got contracts that expired yesterday, they may have signed a short-term deal because of coronavirus, or players that currently don't have a club whatsoever. So just before we get started, if you could do our good stuff by leaving a like rating, press the subscribe button if you're new, and press the bell notification next to it so you never miss an upload. My previous video will be down below at the top of the description box, and the current schedule every day at 8 AM UK time, there will be a new video in your sub box. And today's question of the day, what is the best free transfer of all time? So I'm going to talk about three different categories today. Number one is players that already don't have a club before yesterday's deadline and they may have had their contract terminated a few months ago. Then we have got expiring contracts that either ran out yesterday or, again, like I mentioned before, they signed a short-term deal until the end of the season. And number three is players that have deals ending in 2021. That features some massive names. Obviously they could sign contract extensions, but they could also sign pre-contract agreements from January. So the first category is players already without a club. And the first player is Max Kruse. The German forward did play for Fenerbahce in Turkey and I believe had a decent season, but unfortunately for him, I think he had unpaid wages and he terminated his contract a few days ago. He still has a market valuation of just under £8 million, so he could be a very useful forward for some team. Then we have Daniel Sturridge. His ban from football did end a couple of weeks ago because of gambling, and he last played in Turkey as well. He formerly played for Liverpool, Chelsea, Bolton, Man City, and despite his injury concerns, he's still a very good goal scorer. And there will be more players on the screen, by the way, than I'm talking about, because I want to try and cover as many players as possible, but for some example, I don't really know too much about them and their former sides. But then we've got Borja Baston. He has got a £3 million valuation still, and he had a short-term deal at Aston Villa recently. Benedict Hervedez, the German centre-back, he was previously playing in Russia. Tom Carroll. Then we've got Jusile. You may recognise him from, was it FIFA 13, when he was a Brasilva in Russia. He was absolutely fantastic. Joan Iturbe is another player that you will recognise that had so much potential about him, even had a couple of big money moves in fact. I'm bringing up his profile now. So previously played for, he's had a lot of different clubs, but FC Porto, he's played for Roma, Bournemouth, Torino, and he even had some transfers, like for example, when he joined Hellas Verona from Porto, he cost 14 million. Then he went from Hellas Verona to Roma and he cost them 22 million. There's Seydou Doumbia, for example, who's 32 and still valued at just over 1 million. Former Chelsea midfielder John Obi Mikel, who was playing in Turkey and very recently terminated his deal there. He's still got a valuation of just over 1 million as well. Then we have got, for example, Ignacio Abbate. He hasn't had a club since leaving AC Milan back in July 2019, so whether he's still available or maybe considering retirement, I'm not too certain. So that basically covers the players that didn't have a club before the very end of June and their contracts were terminated or ended before that. But the next category is going to be expiring contracts, so that either expired yesterday on the deadline or they have signed short-term deals. And right now is a very difficult time for pretty much every club because they're not sure the income's fully coming from and they might not necessarily have the transfer funds to be splashing the cash. So the free agent pool, the free agent market could be very useful for them, and there's some solid players in there. For example, we have Willian from Chelsea. There are rumours saying he may be staying in the club, we're not too certain just yet. But as of right now, he's expected to leave when the Premier League does conclude. He's still got a market valuation of £20 million, that's despite being 31. Then we've got Edinson Cavani, who I think does leave the club or has left the club already now, and that's after a very long spell at Paris Saint-Germain. He's 33, but still a top-class goal scorer and valued at 18 million. And it does seem that Cavani will get a very good move because he was into Atletico Madrid and now there's a lot of Italian teams also showing interest. Ryan Fraser of Bournemouth, he's officially a free agent. He didn't sign a short-term deal and he's valued at 16 million and just 26 years old. A 21-year-old free agent now is going to be centre-back Malang Sarr. He has got a few good cards on FIFA Ultimate Team, and he is leaving Nice. Jan Vertonghen, a very experienced 33-year-old centre-back from Tottenham, apparently he's close to joining Roma when the season does end, but still valued at 13 million. Russian forward Zuba, who I don't think has been on foot for a couple of years now, but he is leaving Zenit, and he is 31, valued at 12 million. A Man City legend, David Silva, leaving Man City. He confirmed this over a year ago, in fact, and we're not sure which team he's going to be joining. But he still offers so much. Like, despite being 34, he's a world-class playmaker and valued at 10.8 million. I'll be interested to see where he goes. 18-year-old defender Tango Kawase is up next of Paris Saint-Germain. He's valued at just under £10 million and apparently has got a lot of potential. He won't be staying at PSG and he's very, very, very close to joining Bayern Munich, if not announced already. Mario Götze leaving Borussia Dortmund, as Adam Lallana leaving Liverpool when the season does end, Bonaventura leaving AC Milan, Jose Callejon leaving Napoli, Pedro leaving Chelsea, though he has signed a short-term deal as well, Stambouli and Schalke. Then we've got Nathaniel Klein leaving Liverpool. We have Thiago Silva, who I do put in the same category as David Silva, that despite being 35, he's still a top-class defender, and he has shown that at PSG for years and years and years. Now we'll go on to my second page, and we have got, let me just load it up real quick, Ezekiel Garay, we have got Carlos Eduardo, Jordan Ibe, who obviously Bournemouth signed for like 15 million from Liverpool. That really didn't work out. Hatem Ben Arfa's leaving Real Valladolid. There's Choupo-Moting leaving Paris Saint-Germain. We have got Angel Gomez, a youth prospect from United, going, and apparently he is going to be joining Chelsea. And now we have the final category, which is players that do have deals ending in 1 year's time on June 30th, 2021. And I will say a lot of these, a majority of them will sign new contracts or move to another team. But either way, they either go for a cut price deal this summer or they move on a free. So first up, you can't really start with a bigger name than Lionel Messi. His deal at Barca is expiring in 1 year's time, and if he became a free agent, imagine how many teams would be interested. Pretty much every team in world football would want him, but imagine not many could afford his wages. Leroy Sani, who is a player that is expected right now to leave in a year's time. If he doesn't move to Bayern for a cut price deal this year, he's set to stay at City for one more season and join Bayern on a free. Paul Pogba, his deal runs out next year as well. I imagine he'll either sign a new deal or maybe even end up at the likes of Real Madrid. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, a forward that basically has got the key now for Arsenal. He's their best player, and unfortunately for Arsenal, if they can't offer European football, it may be very hard to keep hold of him. A player who's been linked to many sides as of late, such as Real Madrid, Barca, there's Chelsea in there, and Paris Saint-Germain, is David Alaba. He's a very versatile player, and he's set to leave Bayern Munich potentially on a free, though there are currently some talks in the background, and he may end up staying. Sergio Aguero is entering the final year of his deal at Man City, the record goal scorer, and despite being 32, still has a valuation of £46 million. 21-year-old goalkeeper Gianluigi Donna is up next, and apparently Milan really want him to stay. Whether him and Mino Raiola can work out some kind of deal, that remains to be seen. Thiago, who is a world-class midfielder at Bayern, he's still valued at 44 million as well, and just like Alaba, they have got a few contract situations to sort out. Theron Torres, who's 20 years old at Valencia, linked to many different teams, and he is set to leave this summer instead. Deu Upamecano of RB Leipzig. The club have already said if they can't get him to sign a new deal in the next couple of months or so, he will be sold this summer window. There's Memphis Depay, who currently is injured at Lyon. Gini Wijnaldum, who apparently Liverpool are very close to agreeing a 4-year deal with. I really hope that gets over the line. Alex Telles, who's linked to Chelsea, PSG, and has been at Porto for a fair amount of time. There's Milik, Tovan, Zielinski, James Rodriguez, Di Maria, so yet another PSG player in the mix. We have Elvedi, Ginter, Volland, Luis Suarez. Will he stay at Barca or not? I'm not too certain, especially if they do bring in Lautaro Martinez from Inter. There's Gonzalo Higuain, Julian Draxler, Saka from Arsenal, who's a player which I rate very, very highly. He's only 18 years old, but already showed his versatility. And Arsenal, that'll be a difficult one. If they lose him on a free transfer, he probably would go to a rival. Other notable players are Mesut Ozil, who's on a very, very big contract at Arsenal currently. There's Joshua King, there's a lot of interest in him. We have got Sergio Ramos, Real Madrid wants to keep him, and Zidane hopes he retires at the club. Yet another Bayern player of an expiring deal is going to be Jerome Boateng. Luka Modric is involved in there. We have David Luiz, who's just signed a 1-year extension. Maxime Lopez, Arturo Vidal, Nkulu. There's Matuidi from Juventus. We have got the likes of Mamadou Sakho, Juan Mata, Patrick Van Aanholt, and you get what I mean. There's so many top class players that potentially they could be going for a massive cut price deal. But that, guys, is going to be it for this video. So if you could do our good stuff by leaving a like rating, press the subscribe button if you're new, and press the bell notification next to it so you never miss an upload. My previous episode will be down below in the description box, and the current schedule every day at 8 AM UK time, there will be a new video in your sub box. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.